See this bonnet? That bumpy texture you're looking at is called orange peel, and if you've ever painted a car, you've probably seen it before. A lot of people think the only way to fix it is by repainting the whole panel, but that's not true. Watch how the light reflects across the surface. Instead of looking smooth like a mirror, it's broken up because the clear coat isn't completely flat. Now here's where most people go wrong. They grab a polishing machine and start buffing. The problem is, polishing doesn't remove orange peel. It only removes scratches and brings back shine. If you want a truly flat, glass-like finish, you first have to level the surface the right way. Before I show you the result, take one last look at this reflection, because in a few seconds it's going to look completely different. Now look at the bonnet. The orange peel is gone, the reflection is sharp, and the finish looks like glass. That's the difference when you use the correct process instead of guessing. Here's something a lot of painters don't realize. Orange peel isn't always caused by spraying too much clear coat. Sometimes it's your gun setup, your air pressure, the temperature, or even how fast the clear flash is off. That's why two people can use the exact same product and get completely different results. The key isn't chasing a perfect finish while spraying, it's understanding what caused the texture in the first place. Once you know that, getting a smoother finish becomes a whole lot easier. All right, we're starting with 1200 grit, and before anyone panics in the comments, no, we're not trying to remove all the clear coat. We're just knocking down the high spots. Think of orange peel like tiny little hills and valleys. The sandpaper only touches the tops of those hills first, which is exactly what we want. That's why we're using plenty of water with a little bit of soap. The water washes away the sanding residue, and the soap helps the paper glide smoothly instead of grabbing the surface. Now here's something funny. Every beginner thinks the harder you sand, the faster you'll finish. That's the quickest way to turn your bonnet into an expensive lesson. Let the sandpaper do the work. You're not scrubbing a burnt frying pan, you're leveling paint that's only a fraction of a millimeter thick. Another mistake people make is chasing one tiny spot for 5 minutes. Don't do that. Keep your movements even, stay patient, and let the entire panel level out together. Slow and consistent almost always beats fast and aggressive in paintwork. And here's a little trick the pros use. They don't just look at the panel, they feel it. As the orange peel starts disappearing, the surface begins to feel smoother under your hand. That's when you know you're making progress. Trust the process. Don't rush it, because the real magic doesn't happen while you're sanding. It happens after the polishing stage, when all this hard work finally turns into a deep, mirror-like finish. All right, the 1200 grit has done its job. We've knocked down most of the orange peel, but don't get too excited yet. We're not finished. Now it's time to switch to 1500 grit with a rubber sanding block. And no, this isn't because we enjoy sanding. If that was true, we'd all be sanding our cars for fun on weekends. The reason we're stepping up to 1500 is simple. Every grit leaves scratches behind. The 1200 removed the texture, but it also left deeper sanding marks. The 1500 starts refining those scratches, making the next stages much easier and a lot safer. Now pay attention to the sanding block. A lot of people want to sand with just their fingers, but your fingers create pressure points. That means one spot gets sanded more than another, and before you know it, you've got an uneven surface. The rubber block spreads the pressure evenly, so the panel stays nice and flat. Another thing I see beginners do is keep sanding until they think, just one more minute. That's usually the minute that gets them into trouble. Remember, you can always remove a little more clear coat, but you can never put it back. As you're sanding, keep wiping the surface dry every now and then. When it's wet, everything looks perfect. Once it's dry, that's when the truth comes out. You'll be able to spot any shiny low spots that still need attention. Think of sanding like editing a video. The first cut gets rid of the big mistakes, but it's the fine adjustments that make everything look professional. That's exactly what the 1500 grit is doing right now. It's preparing this bonnet for the finishing stages. We're getting closer, and once the polishing starts, this dull-looking panel is going to surprise you. Now that we've finished with the 1200 and 1500 grit, it's time to wipe the panel completely dry. This step might look boring, but it's one of the most important parts of the process. A wet panel can hide scratches, low spots, and areas that still have orange peel. Once it's dry, the paint tells the truth. If you can still see shiny patches or uneven texture, you'll know exactly where more work is needed before you start polishing. And here's something a lot of beginners don't think about. Don't just keep grabbing a coarser grit every time you see orange peel. More aggressive sandpaper doesn't automatically mean better results. Every pass removes a little bit of clear coat, and clear coat is limited. Once you've sanded through it, there's no magic polish that's going to bring it back. That's why professional painters remove only what's necessary and let patience do the rest. The goal isn't to sand as much as possible, it's to sand as little as possible while still getting the surface perfectly flat. So before you reach for the polishing machine, take a minute to inspect the panel properly. A few extra seconds checking your work now can save you from hours of fixing mistakes later. The polishing stage is where the shine comes back, but the quality of that shine depends entirely on the sanding you've just done. Get this part right, and the results will speak for themselves. All right, this is the part everyone's been waiting for. We've done all the boring work. We've sanded the panel, we've checked our surface, and now it's finally time to polish. This is where people expect magic to happen, and honestly, it kind of does, but only if the sanding was done properly. The first thing you want to do is apply your polishing compound to the pad. Don't squeeze half the bottle onto it like you're putting tomato sauce on a burger. A few small drops are all you need. Too much compound just makes a mess, clogs the pad, and gives you more cleanup than polishing. Now here's a mistake I see all the time. People put the machine on the highest speed, pull the trigger, and suddenly the compound is decorating the walls, the floor, and probably their shirt too. Start on a low speed first. Spread the polish across the section you're working on so it stays where it's supposed to. Once it's evenly spread, then you can increase the speed and begin correcting the paint. Keep the pad flat against the panel. If you tilt the machine onto the edge of the pad, all the pressure is focused on one small area. That's how people create swirl marks, holograms, or even burn through the clear coat. Let the entire face of the pad do the work. Another thing, don't race across the panel. You're polishing paint, not mowing the lawn because it's about to rain. Slow, overlapping passes are what give you an even finish. Every pass should overlap the previous one by about 50%, so you don't leave untouched areas behind. And don't push down with all your strength. Believe it or not, the polishing machine is stronger than your arms. If you're leaning on it like you're trying to start a broken car, you're actually making it harder for the pad to rotate properly. Light controlled pressure almost always gives better results. Now as you polish, you'll notice the sanding marks slowly disappearing. This is exactly what you want to see. The compound is refining the surface and bringing back the gloss that disappeared during wet sanding. It's one of the most satisfying parts of paint correction because you can literally watch the finish transform in front of your eyes. Here's a little tip that separates experienced detailers from beginners. Clean your polishing pad regularly. As you work, the pad fills up with old compound and tiny bits of clear coat. A dirty pad doesn't cut properly, creates extra heat, and can even put fresh scratches back into the paint. Keeping the pad clean keeps your results consistent, and don't try to polish the whole bonnet in one go. Work in small sections. It might feel slower, but you'll have much better control. The compound won't dry out as quickly, and every section gets the attention it deserves. One more thing, don't judge the finish while the polish is still sitting on the panel. Wipe the residue away with a clean microfiber towel before you inspect your work. It's amazing how many people think they've achieved a perfect finish, only to realize they were looking at polish filling the scratches instead of actually removing them. By this point, you should already notice the reflection getting sharper and deeper. The dull, sanded finish is disappearing, and that smooth mirror-like shine is starting to come back. This is why patience pays off. Every minute spent sanding correctly is rewarded during the polishing stage. And remember, polishing isn't about rushing to the finish line. It's about building the finish step by step. Take your time, trust the process, and let the machine do what it was designed to do. Stick around, because once we finish this bonnet and pull it into the light, you're going to see exactly why every one of these steps was worth it. All right, we're going to add another small amount of polish to the pad. Notice I said small amount. One mistake a lot of people make is thinking more polish means more cutting power. It doesn't. Once the pad is primed, you only need a few drops to keep it working efficiently. Too much polish just creates extra dust, makes the pad harder to control, and wastes product. Before switching the machine on, place the pad flat against the paint. That little habit can save you a lot of cleanup. Nobody wants polish splattered all over the windscreen, the floor, or their clothes. Spread the compound at a low speed first, then gradually increase the speed once everything is evenly distributed. As I'm working, notice I'm not rushing. Good polishing has a rhythm to it. Slow passes, steady movement, and plenty of overlap. If your paint gets too hot while polishing, you might actually be creating more work for yourself. Most beginners never notice it until it's too late. Here's something a lot of detailers learn the hard way. Polishing isn't just about removing scratches. It's about controlling heat. Every pass of the machine creates friction, and friction creates temperature. The hotter the panel gets, the softer the clear coat becomes. That's when you can end up with haze, smearing, or even defects that seem to disappear, then magically come back later. One of the easiest ways to avoid this is to keep your pad clean. A clogged pad builds extra friction and traps heat. Next, don't stay in one spot for too long. Keep the machine moving with smooth, overlapping passes instead of chasing one scratch for minutes. If the panel feels hot to the touch, stop for a moment. Give both the paint and the pad a chance to cool before continuing. And finally, match your machine to the job. A random orbital is usually the safest option for beginners, because it spreads heat more evenly while still giving excellent results. Professional-looking results aren't about polishing harder, they're about polishing smarter. Control the heat, and your finish will stay clearer, glossier, and easier to correct. Follow for more car detailing tips that actually save you time, money, and paint. It might not look exciting, but this is exactly how you get consistent results. If you move too quickly, the compound doesn't have enough time to do its job. If you stay in one place too long, you're only creating unnecessary heat. Another thing worth mentioning is don't keep staring at the machine. Watch the paint instead. The paint tells you everything. As the sanding marks disappear and the reflection becomes clearer, you'll know the compound has done its job. That's your signal to move on instead of polishing the same spot over and over again. Now let's keep going because this bonnet is starting to wake up, and the best part is still coming. If you've made it this far into the video, you're probably someone who actually cares about doing the job properly instead of looking for shortcuts. And that's a good thing, because paintwork has a funny way of exposing shortcuts. It might look perfect inside the garage, but the moment you pull the car into the sunlight, every mistake suddenly introduces itself. One lesson I've learned over the years is that patience will always beat speed. I've seen people spend thousands on expensive spray guns, premium compounds, and professional polishers, but they still struggle because they're rushing every step. Then I've seen someone with basic tools take their time and produce a finish that looks incredible. Skill almost always beats expensive equipment. Another thing I want to mention is expectations. Don't compare your first polishing job to someone who's been doing this for 20 years. Social media has a way of making everything look easy because you only see the highlights. What you don't see are the mistakes, the burnt edges, the hours spent learning, and all the practice behind those perfect reflections. And here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Your workshop matters. Good lighting makes a massive difference. If your lighting is poor, scratches and sanding marks can hide in plain sight. Then you wheel the car outside, and suddenly they appear like they were waiting for the sunlight. Always inspect your work from different angles before calling it finished. Let's also talk about cleanliness. A clean microfiber towel, a clean polishing pad, and a clean panel make a bigger difference than most people realize. Tiny bits of dirt trapped in your pad can create fresh scratches while you're trying to remove old ones. 5 minutes spent keeping your tools clean can save hours of correction later. Something else beginners ask all the time is, how long should I polish one section? The answer isn't measured in minutes, it's measured by results. Every paint system is different. Some clear coats are soft, others are hard. Let the condition of the paint tell you when it's ready, not the stopwatch. And don't forget to give the machine a chance to work. You don't have to wrestle with it. Guide it, control it, and let the pad and compound do what they were designed to do. When everything is working together properly, polishing actually becomes relaxing. One of my favorite moments is wiping away the polish and seeing that first sharp reflection appear. It's satisfying because you know it wasn't luck. Every stage before this made that moment possible. The sanding, the inspection, the patience, the technique, they all led to what you're seeing now. If you're watching this because you're planning to paint your own car, don't be intimidated. Everyone starts somewhere. Nobody picked up a polishing machine for the first time and produced a show car finish. The people who get really good are usually the ones who weren't afraid to learn from their mistakes. And for those of you who've been painting for years, I'd love to know your opinion. What's the biggest mistake you see beginners make when polishing? Is it using too much product, moving the machine too fast, pressing too hard, or simply rushing the process? Share your experience in the comments because someone reading it might avoid making that same mistake. We're almost finished now, and if you've been following every step from the wet sanding all the way to this final polishing stage, you've probably noticed something important. None of these steps are complicated on their own. The secret isn't a magic polish or a special machine. It's doing the simple things consistently and refusing to rush them. In just a moment, we're going to wipe this bonnet down one last time and reveal the final finish. That's when you'll really see the difference between textured paint and a properly corrected surface. So don't go anywhere, because the final reveal is always the most rewarding part of the entire process.